Carbon tax Carney must come clean with Canadians about potential conflicts of interest and all of his business dealings.
Carbon tax Carney is not as bad as Justin Trudeau. He is worse, far worse. He's been Justin Trudeau's top economic advisor for 4 years. He supported the carbon tax, he called for an increase in the carbon tax, and now he's planning a carbon tax con job, which is to pause the tax just so we can get through the election. People will say, oh, the gas price went down just 5 weeks before an election. Hooray! And then they go, and the goal is for him to win. And then he comes back in and he says, well, now that I'm in power again, the people can't stop him from bringing the tax in higher than ever before. When he no longer needs your vote, but still needs your money, carbon tax Carney will bring in the most crippling tax of all time.
If I am elected, if I'm given the confidence of the voters wherever I run, I am a politician. I'm running for the leadership. I will run.
Now, I'm not a politician. I am a pragmatist. And so if I see something that's not working, I will change it.
And something that my government is going to do is to use all of the powers of the federal government, including the emergency powers of the federal government, to accelerate the major projects that we need in order to build this economy and take on the Americans.
Viewer says, but you would never impose a pipeline on Quebec or any other province. And Mark Carney says, I would never impose. Roy says, never. Carney says, never. And then Roy asks, emergency legislation. Carney goes on, he says, but I will use my government. If I were prime minister, my government would use our emergency powers to accelerate projects that are in the national interest. Roy goes, okay. Carney continues, he says, but it has to be decided with the provinces, with the nations. Roy asks, okay, so if a province says, no, you're not putting any pipelines through, Carney says, absolutely. Roy asks, you don't impose it? Carney says, never in Quebec. So to the Quebec audience, he's saying never a pipeline. No, I won't use it. I won't do the emergency powers. But then speaking to the rest of the country in English, he's happy to say, we'll use everything we can, every piece of power.
And there's a trick coming, a con job. Mark Carney has said that, you know, he has this long history of supporting carbon taxes and pushing for them to be increased. He's going to pause the current carbon tax to get through the 2-month election. And then if he, God forbid, he wins, he'll bring back a much bigger tax with no rebate at all. And that will be devastating for our economy. So if you want an end to the carbon tax for good, for real, forever, then it's only the Conservatives that will deliver that.